The program can work in virtual simulator mode, what's very helpful for training. To get into this mode, you need to switch all devices off and restart the program. At start, the program will ask you about configuration you would like to use for simulation, and after your selection gets into startup interface. Press OK and you will get into virtual simulator, when you can perform any actions and the program will model reality to match that. You can create and edit process, make analysis of job done earlier, change the save parameters. Additionally to this, you can select and download one of available processes. Check all channels and devices definitions, profile links, and adjust these if you selected a different device's configuration than it required by selected process. This mode helps operators to introduce with software in its details, with no any risk for equipment and processed product. You can easily run simulation of selected process by pressing Start button. At the end, the process virtual realization will be displayed in interface graph field. The only difference to real process will be in a fact that simulated process will have no deviations, corrections, and lines of process realizations always will coincide with programmed profiles. Place a board you will process on a bottom heater plate with optimal gap. Use for that supplied fluoroplastic racks. Try to place a board in the center of heating plate, what let you keep equal temperature conditions across board body and will prevent or at least minimize deformation. Place processed component on the contact pads by method accepted at your enterprise. Move a top heater into working position. For what? Turn heater's head counterclockwise into laser pointer position and move a laser dot to the center of processed components by sliding holder's arm and rotating it around central shaft. After the laser dot is aimed to center of component, fix the holder arm by tightening fixing nuts and turn heater head into working position, turning it backward against clockwise. Correct positioning of control sensor on a board is the most critical operation with grant a temperature readout precision. Please follow our simple recommendations. Install sensor on conductor's traces comes from component or metal field situated as close as possible to component. Sensor is to be placed with a gap as close as possible to a component side, which is most distant from a board edge. Sensor has to be aligned to a board with whole its bottom surface. Last arm of sensor holder tripod has to be as close to horizontal position as possible that let you avoid contact with top heater's head. Operating control sensor holder tripod, keep in mind that it can be fixed only in most upward position. In other positions, please hold it with your arm to prevent its falling on working surface, what can destroy sensor. Select and install the screen on a top heater head. Remember that screen's window size has to be from 5 to 10 mm bigger than component on each side. Try to use 3D screens, what's efficiency is 30% higher. Down top heater into lower working position, from 1 to 1.5 cm over a board, and start the run of early selected process by pressing button Start in left bottom corner of the display. After that, the process doesn't need operator's participation and will complete soldering process automatically. However, some misfunctions can take place and the system will inform operator about such situation with audio signal. If equipment is in order and was correctly assembled and interconnected, a misfunction can be caused only by mismatch of the selected process to a thermodynamic environment conditions higher than estimated heat capacity of the board, for example. In such cases, the process will start periodically switching over into auto-pause and auto-correction modes and delay process, what also can be caused by not controlled heat leakage, such as opened window or working air conditioner. Operator has an ability to hold up the process by pressing button Pause and make a manual temperature corrections. The equipment will start supporting the running temperature at board and buttons T+1 and T-1 appear in left bottom corner of display. Pressing these Operator can increase or decrease current temperature at component with 1 degree grade. When required value of temperature change is achieved, the pressing button "Continue the process" will start running the process again, but after the change's temperature value is reached. Upon solder melting point, achievement and formation of contacts is completed, the program informs about the process completion. In case when forced ventilation is required, air cooler unit IK650 can be engaged at this stage, and the program will recommend operator to raise top heater from working zone. Process can be stopped at any stage by pressing End Process button. If you run component desoldering, remove component at this stage of the board by method taken at your enterprise. After the process stopped, the program will recommend to save gotten results into a file in directory results. However, if you ignore it, the program will save result to memory button number 1 anyway.